between these two teams, drawing 11 and losing 26, but they did win this fixture last year 3-0 and are on an 8-match unbeaten run in the Premier League. If there's one thing we've learned about Palace under Roy Hodgson, it is never discount their chances. It's the battle of the veteran bosses. It's Roy against Arsene, and it's next. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic strike!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered.
Salah into the penalty area. Mo Salah gets it through. Firmino! 3-0. Counter-attacking football at its best. Roberto Firmino.
TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live.
Here's Aguero trying to find a way through. Sergio Aguero, as he does so well. Brilliant goal. Marvellous goal by Sergio Aguero.
Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Ball comes in towards Willian, breaks back to Pedro. It's 3-0 to Chelsea, and it's all too easy.
Hear goals as they go in from around the grounds during our featured commentary match.
Calvert-Lewin gets it back from Rooney as well. Again, better from Everton. Crosses the middle. It's Lennon with the header this time. The keeper spills it, and Wayne Rooney turns it home.
Every game is covered.
Mesut Ozil wants it back. This could be a lovely goal. Mesut Ozil into Olivier Giroud. Arsenal have doubled their advantage. It's a simply superb goal from Arsenal. A beautiful collective move.
Get involved. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Here's the corner, swung in well on, the header's in, it's a goal! West Ham have equalised, and Cheku Kouyaté is celebrating. The equaliser for West Ham from the corner in the final minute of the first half.
This is Premier League Live.
Headed away that time by Stevens, and that's deflected and in! Young with a shot, it's off of Lewis Dunk, and it curls into the top corner. Ashley Young will take the credit for it, but it's a wicked deflection off of Lewis Dunk.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
We are glad all over to be with you at Selhurst Park for this Thursday night football special TalkSport's coverage of Crystal Palace against Arsenal. I'm your host Tom Rennie. Alongside me is the former Charlton, Aston Villa and Eagles winger Paul Mortimer. You are listening to Premier League Live, the final game of what's been a fabulous game week 20 in the Premier League, right across Boxing Day and beyond. And what a venue we have got in South London for you this evening. Last year, Arsenal lost this fixture for the first time since 1994, and a comfortable victory it was too for the Eagles then under Big Sam Allardyce. Since then, they've been through two managers. Roy Hodgson in charge now, and he is in charge of a side on the up, unbeaten in 8, 4 points on the road in their last two wins in 3, looking very, very good to survive relegation. Let's give you their starting 11, shall we? Starting with the goalkeeper, Julian Speroni in goal. The veteran continues between the posts. Wayne Hennessy is on the bench. Across the back line, left to right, Jeffrey Schlupp, James Tompkins, the captain Scott Dan and Martin Kelly at right back. Midfield, Milivojevic and Johan Kabay, Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Andros Townsend look like wingers, but it may well be a midfield diamond. Zaha and Benteke up front. Benteke back from suspension. On the bench, it's Patrick Van Arnholt, the aforementioned Hennessy, James MacArthur, Timothy Fosu-Mensah, Bakary Sakho, Jason Puncheon and Jairo Riedewald. For Arsenal, they've gone back to a 3 at the back this evening, which is not a formation they've played very much in the last few weeks. Petr Cech is in goal. It's a back 3 left to right of Laurent Koscielny, Mustafi and Chambers. Midfield, Wilshere and Xhaka, Hector Bellerin and Said Kolasinac in the wing-back roles. We've got Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez supporting Lacazette up front. Bench for Arsenal this evening is a spinner, Walcott, who's been linked with a move back to Southampton today, who of course are about to get a big windfall from the sale of Virgil van Dijk to Liverpool. Rob Holding, Alex Iwobi, Danny Welbeck, Ainsley Maitland-Niles back on the bench after a run in the first team at left back, and Francis Coquelin as well. We are just about to get underway here on a chilly night in South London. Temperatures dropping to 0 and maybe below. It's been snowing in London today as well, and when I got up this morning at 4:30, gloves were not enough. Let's put it that way. It was very, very cold. There's going to be lots of players out there wearing them this evening as our monitors focus on Alexis Sanchez. He needs to start performing away from home for Arsenal. Their away form has not been great this season, just 2 victories on the road for the Gunners. Big game for them this evening in the race for the top 4. They currently sit in those Europa League places. Victory only enough to put them back in 5th in the table tonight. The Eagles players in a bit of a huddle in their own half, which suggests they know it's a big game. Always a great atmosphere under the lights at Selhurst Park as well. Arsenal kick from right to left in this first half, wearing their away strip of grey shirts, shorts and socks with a pink trim and white numbering. Crystal Palace kick from left to right, wearing their home strip, that fake Barcelona knockoff, which is of course vertical stripes of red and blue shorts and blue socks. Paul Mortimer's with me. What a game we've got tonight.
I think the atmosphere's great. Palace fans are always brilliant. Both teams are up for it. I think Palace believe they can beat this Arsenal side. I think they'll get at them. I think it's going to be a really good game.
Jack Wilshere in the centre of midfield for Arsenal, having a nice run in the team and getting an early touch of the ball here for Arsenal. It's so interesting, Jack Wilshere. Reading again today that they're going to talk about a new contract for him, but they want him to take a pay cut to stay at the club.
I don't know what to say about that. I think with his injuries, possibly what should happen is his performance-related pay. So if he performs, chairman's got to put in his hands in his pocket. If he doesn't, then he doesn't have to. But to tell someone to take a pay cut is unfair.
It's odd. It's an odd thing.
It's unfair.
Michael Oliver, your referee tonight, by the way, who's in the centre of the field now, wearing green top and black shorts, and his first decision of the match is to award a throw on the far side to Crystal Palace, just over the halfway line, which will be taken by Jeffrey Schlupp. Just inside the Crystal Palace half, in fact. Schlupp down the line towards Benteke, beaten in the air by Mustafi, back in the team after an injury against Man United, after a howler of an error for United's second goal. Milivojevic in midfield, loses out to Wilshere, driving forward down the right hand side. He'll find a pass to Mesut Ozil. Ozil back to Alexis Sanchez, who drifts over to support Ozil, drops the shoulder on Loftus-Cheek, carries it back towards the halfway. Ozil can't find a forward pass. Good defensive work though by Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Zaha getting back to help him out. The Arsenal captain Koscielny goes left to Said Kolasinac, back in the first team tonight. Arsene Wenger has admitted issues when it comes to Kolasinac playing at left back. Doesn't trust him defensively, which is incredible considering his pedigree. Always dug out towards Alexis Sanchez on his left-hand side, who miscontrols. It's amazing you can pay someone that kind of money and come in with that kind of history, and he prefers Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Is he saying that he's a better defender than Kolasinac?
Well, I saw the game the other day when Ainsley Maitland-Niles played left back, and his opponents targeted him because he fell asleep on 3 or 4 occasions that could have cost Arsenal. So I can't see that but you'd think with the pedigree and the money that he would be able to defend. But if I'm Crystal Palace, I'm using that to my advantage. I'm telling my wide players to get wide and try and put the ball in behind the two fullbacks and force them back towards their own goal. It's a strange back pass, I've got to say.
Yeah, all the way back to Julian Speroni, and we've seen a couple of howlers this weekend from goalkeepers. Ben Foster had a couple of big issues. Jack Butland did as well for Stoke City, and of course most notably Asmir Begovic falling over for Marco Arnautovic, which was equaliser because of the rain and the conditions.
You can't do anything about that.
You've got to look after your keepers in this kind of weather, though. It's been very wet in England, certainly in London. Plenty of snow as well. Howling rain across the weekend. Very clear tonight, though, as Mesut Ozil is slipped in down the line, but Kabay steps across to win it back for Palace inside their own half. Tries to release Zaha. Sliding tackle from Bellerin puts it right into Zaha's path, who chops inside Xhaka, but can't get away from 5 Arsenal defenders. Tried his best, though.
And that's what they'll have to do. When Zaha gets the ball, they're going to have to crowd him out, because he's got the tricks, the ability to just cause havoc.
Poor first touch from Benteke allows Xhaka to steal. He'll find Wilshere, then Lacazette. Alexis Sanchez in the centre circle, away from Benteke over the halfway line. That's a good ball down the right channel to Bellerin, who will get there, cuts it back to Alexis Sanchez in the penalty area to Ozil, tries a return ball to Alexis Sanchez, and Scott Dan steps across to win it. He'll find Schlupp, and Palace will break away. Lovely touch by Zaha, left to Loftus-Cheek, who's over the halfway down the left hand side. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Wilshere is with him. 2 guys competing for a central midfield spot for England this summer. Milivojevic left to Loftus-Cheek. Coming inside, he'll find Townsend on the overlap. Andros Townsend by the end line, cuts it back, poor cross, away by Mustafi. Under no challenge there from an attacker. Palace have it again though on the halfway. Fired forward by Dan, nowhere near Benteke, and that'll bounce through to Petr.
Well, I think Townsend's got to do better with the crosses, under no pressure whatsoever. He can pick someone out there. I think he should be able to do that. But good play from Palace, I've got to say. Keeping the ball, asking questions of Arsenal's defence until that poor ball from Dan.
5 minutes gone, a very even start to proceedings. No efforts on goal as yet, though, in this opening 5.
Nice tempo to the game, though. Nice pace to the game. Both teams are trying, at least, to go forward.
There's often criticism about the amount of fixtures over Christmas, but it has given us some incredible results and storylines and action and drama, as it always seems to do. But this year feels especially like we've seen some great games. As Xhaka looks in the area to Lacazette, Tompkins steps out, and that'll be cleared away by Milivojevic over the top towards the half. Scheckter to come out of his area, and he's done well to head to Holding, then back to check. Mustafi has to come across. Chambers, not Holding.
Good play from Arsenal, but it's not a bad ball, because it's made the defenders and the goalkeeper have to make a decision. And sometimes all the ingredients for disaster are there sometimes.
Callum Chambers there, maybe showing a bit of ring rustiness. As Paul was saying pre-game, not seen a great deal of him in an Arsenal shirt this season. Just his first start in the Premier League, couple of appearances in Europa League and the League Cup. Got some defending to do here, though. He's got Zaha running at him on the edge of the area, slipped in towards Benteke, is behind Benteke, and maybe that's why Wilfried Zaha often takes it on himself.
Yeah, but again, there's only Benteke in the box. Need more in the box. As we look at a foul, it's nowhere near a foul. And as they win it, as they drive forward, I'm wondering, Andros Townsend's wide on the right, why he's not getting involved. And he's coming inside the pitch, Andros Townsend, and not heading towards the box. Can't have the ball to feet all the time. You've got to be looking in the box. That's where Zaha's looking. You've got to be looking in there.
Just see the nerves, though, couldn't you, on Callum Chambers having Wilfried Zaha running at him?
Well,
first Premier League start of the season, you're up against Zaha in this form.
It's a difficult one. It's a hard ask. It's a tough ask. But as a player, you're not going to turn it down. You're going to want to play.
He is now Callum Chambers. Played well on loan at Middlesbrough last season for long spells of their defensive-minded return to the Championship. Kept a few clean sheets though, played pretty well at the back. Ben Gibson for a lot of that season. Schlupp down the left touchline to Benteke, who controls this one well. Mustafi is with him, nibbles at him, and is able to win it back. Wilshere then shrugs off Wilfried Zaha, who does go down incredibly easily, repeatedly.
All of a sudden he's looking for fouls too often. If he just gets on with it, listen, Wilfried Zaha will get fouled enough.
he don't really need to go looking for it.
Why does he do it then?
I just don't know, and it is irritating because refs will see that, they'll know that, and they'll probably not give one when it is a foul.
Could well have been a foul there, but Michael Oliver says no, as Alexis Sanchez fires one through to Xhaka, into Ozil, who's around the edge of the penalty area, back to Wilshere, then to Xhaka, then to Alexis Sanchez, beats one, but not Milivojevic, who steps across to win it back. Chambers has done well, though, to get on the end of that ball and bundle past Schlupp, shot block, back to Bellerin, right-hand side from Chambers. Alexis Sanchez forward to Bellerin. Bellerin's crosses ball, it'll be cleared away by Dan for a throw on that far side to Arsenal.
That's something that I think needs to be worked on. Bellerin gets into that position a lot, and for me doesn't produce enough qualities. Crossing is a weak point, I've got to say. He's got to be better for the amount of times that they set him up for him to get into those positions wide.
Here's Mesut Ozil, edge of the area, back to Xhaka, who can hit, but that one was over the crossbar, and always going to find a goalkeeper as generous as old lettuce wrist Simon Mignolet.
You know what, in his defence the ball did move a bit, and it's lettuce wrist, not
you
wrist.
Are so generous, aren't you?
My only criticism is you go at that with two hands. You can't go at it with one hand. You've got to go at that with two hands close together. That gives a bigger area to save the ball.
It must be tough for you being this positive all the time. You have to be great fun over Christmas.
No, it's an error. It's keeper error without a doubt. I just can't work out why he went for it with one hand. That's all. I cannot work that one out. Yeah. It did move a bit, not enough for him to be thinking, I can take this on with one hand. Keeper error, cost him.
Changed his mind.
No.
Come over the dark side, eh?
Just playing what I've
seen. Star Wars today.
Just saying what I'm seeing. Just saying what I'm seeing.
You can tweet us, by the way, at TalkSport Live, the place to get in touch. Patty is listening to us and enjoying the commentary. Thank you very much indeed. Hello to Ujwal as well, listening to us in India. Fancies Crystal Palace this evening. Big fan of Zaha and Townsend and Loftus-Cheek going forward. Keep those tweets coming in to at TalkSport Live. Let us know where in the world you're listening to us, as Arsenal clip one down the channel towards Alexandre Lacazette, who can't get on the end of that ball, and Palace will then break away again down the left-hand side.
This is where you fancy him. In transition, when the ball changes hands, the pace just picks up.
That's good work there by Chambers, facing up to Zaha and getting a challenge in. Pass back to Koscielny wasn't great. Played him into trouble, and Palace have won it back. Here's Johan Cabaye with a drive from distance, always spinning wide from the outside of the boot.
And that's the thing for me, is as soon as Arsenal, they're sitting in Palace, as soon as Arsenal give it away, they're trying to break, and they go off at pace, and Zaha, Benteke, Townsend, Cabaye in support, they fly forward, Loftus-Cheek, they fly forward, and you can see the Arsenal back three dropping back a little bit earlier than they would normally.
Great form at home right now, Crystal Palace, unbeaten in 6 games here. They'll set a new club record of 7 unbeaten if they avoid defeat tonight, as they are right now, with a point, and also move up the Premier League table, which is much more important than historic records. They go above Newcastle into 15th if things stayed as they are. Again, it's just an incredible achievement when again you consider where they were, and I never really thought they would go down as the quality is there, and there are teams from this point that will start sinking, but whatever, they've done it enough to get to 18 points at this stage, which is such an achievement.
Well, you have to look at it two ways. The other sides, there are worse sides than them without a doubt, but also, like I said, they've got a manager who's a safe pair of hands, knows the division, understands how to get the best out of the players playing a certain way, and it's worked.
Getting some real quality from Cabaye and from Zaha, but not there from Kelly, who's played the ball outright into nowhere. Renato Sanchez pass against the advertising boarding.
It's one of them where Townsend's come short as the ball comes to Kelly, and Kelly looks up, Townsend's come short. He looks back down to pass it, Townsend spun into the channel, and it looks like, do you know what I mean? It's one of them. That happens, and that will happen again. It happens loads of times.
Well, it's happened again on the far side. This time it's a confusion between Callum Chambers and Hector Bellerin, which has seen the ball go out of play for a throw to Arsenal, just inside the Palace half. I do think Arsenal look better in this shape. Not a great start for them in the opening 12 minutes, still 0-0, but certainly I think this suits their players better than the 4 at the back they've gone back to. Xhaka looks over the top towards Lacazette, intercepted by Crystal Palace.
I would say it suits their more important players better. The back three, I don't think it suits because there's too many gaps, there's too many open spaces, and if you've got centre forwards with intelligence, they can really profit from that. But the midfield,
no one does.
Yeah, midfield and the three up front, definitely.
Here's Andros Townsend on the edge of the area. Mustafi goes to ground too easily. Zaha jinks outside and trying to get a shot or a cross away, but he's crowded out by Arsenal defenders. 3 around him as he tries to do something in the area. It's obviously a clear tactic for Arsenal to stop Zaha, stop Palace.
They have to. He is the catalyst. He is the one that they look to. He's their go-to guy, and if they can keep him quiet, they'll be in with a chance.
Ball whipped in towards the near post, and Benteke was there, but Cech will punch it away. Ozil then tries to head into his own path. Schlupp gets in front of him. Mustafi heads the loose ball away, up towards Lacazette on the halfway, who's got away from Jeffrey Schlupp. And will turn back in field. Lacazette, good play from the Arsenal number 9. Back to Koscielny. Ball down the line is misplaced, and well, again, it's another mistake from Arsenal, who have not looked at their best tonight.
Well, it's just a poor pass. Lacazette does really well, I've got to say. Shows good strength to be able to hold the defender off, slide a decent ball in. But what happens for Koscielny is there aren't enough supporting players, so he has to try and finagle a ball into an area that really wasn't on, and it looked a poor pass.
Palace showing good intent here in the opening 15. They're over the halfway again with the ball at feet. Dan back to Tompkins. Forward to Cabaye, slip down the left-hand side to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who carries forward up against Wilshere. Leaves it to Zaha, who goes first time back to Schlupp. Schlupp will find Zaha. Good strength to get away from Bellerin. Runner ahead of him, makes some space. Here's Yohan Cabaye with the drive.
Lucky.
That's only a couple of yards wide from Yohan Cabaye.
Well, the first one was a sighter. And this one's good play from Palace, actually. Gets it out of his feet. And it's close. I think what you're noticing, again, I think with Arsenal now is times gone by, they had the weapons that would frighten you when you gave the ball away. At the moment, they don't have the physical strength and real dynamic ability going forward that scares you anymore. So you know, no teams really. I mean, you look at Man City, they have it. You lose the ball, you've got to get back. With Arsenal, you don't really see that anymore. I just don't think they're as scary, as frightening in attack as they used to be.
Trying to put the fear into Crystal Palace here, Arsenal, as they head over the halfway.
They don't take too long. Into the advanced left wing position, then back to the halfway line.
Alexis Sanchez found by Ozil, running crossfield and trying a lovely pass to Bellerin, back to Wilshere. First time shot blocked by Dan, breaks to Alexis Sanchez. His shot is blocked by Tompkins. Outright to Bellerin, early cross straight at Dan. Cleared away by Crystal Palace, and they will now break down the left hand side with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Over halfway already, Zaha's made a run down the channel. Loftus-Cheek finds him via a deflection. Mustafi holds him up, tries to take the ball away from Wilfried Zaha, won't be able to do so. Back to Milivojevic, turns back outside. Xhaka for company. Here's Schlupp, midway inside the Palace half. Poor cross, straight at Callum Chambers. Attack comes to nothing. Wilshere back on the ball, and maybe he could have done better a few moments ago, Paul.
Yeah, I guess so. But again, the game's opening up, isn't it, a little bit? You know, it's like you attack, we attack, or you try and attack and we try and attack. They both look like they really want to go and score goals. They want to create chances. Haven't really had enough at the moment, because when you look at Palace, it's handball. It actually is handball, and you know the ref put the whistle to his mouth and then decided against it. But you know, that looked like a definite handball, but it wasn't a great cross from Schlupp, and that's what's happening for Palace at the moment. Just in the final third, not quite. Both sides aren't really as potent as they could be in the final third. Two
basically mid-table teams in the Premier League.
It looks like it, doesn't it?
It's good to see two teams trying to win a game after last night. As Bellerin's ball in is better. Around the back of Dan this time, picked up by Speroni before an Arsenal player could get there.
I think his cross has got to be better. I mean, there he's looking, no one's making the run. There's only two in the box, and neither have really shown any desire. In his defence, it'd be difficult for him to pick someone out there.
Lovely turn away from Kolasinac from Townsend. Onto the sideline, then back infield to Milivojevic, under pressure, back to Townsend. Kelly's ball down the line is good. Milivojevic in a bit of space. Deep cross towards Zaha. Zaha let it go across his body. It was almost like he went to head it, then misjudged it. He's been able to keep it on. Loftus-Cheek inside, away from Xhaka, who swung a poor tackle at him. Shot is blocked by Mustafi, and Arsenal will look to carry it away with Ozil. Down the right channel to Lacazette. Up against Dan, blocked off by Dan. Close one, because it wasn't a great touch away from him by Lacazette, but he had stepped across.
No, it wasn't. But it's one of them. I'm not so sure Dan can go anywhere. I have to be honest. I'm not so sure what he can do about that. But yeah, the ref's always going to give that as obstruction, and it just slows the game down a little bit.
Oh, so I want to speed it up more than anything. They have the better quality out there, certainly spend the more money and the higher in the table, but been the better of the teams in the opening 20. Crystal Palace 0, Arsenal 0 on Premier League Live.
Well, he'd take this, Roy Hodgson. He'd feel fairly comfortable at the moment. They've not cut Palace open. There's nothing to be frightened of at the moment. As I was saying before, because I just don't think they have those weapons anymore. Sanchez isn't at his best. Ozil is on the periphery of things at the moment. They're just not scaring Palace.
Well, it takes a moment though for Arsenal. Palace got to keep concentrating here as Lacazette finds Xhaka in field. Here's Wilshere approaching the penalty area in the centre. Ozil round the corner to Alexis Sanchez, back to Wilshere, out left to Kolasinac, who comes in field. 1-2 with Ozil. Kolasinac didn't quite want that return ball, but he has recovered and found Ozil. Sanchez then back to Mesut Ozil, cuts it back on the edge, shot by Xhaka, blocked by Tompkins, I think, on the penalty spot, cleared away.
Good play by Arsenal, and the change there is the pace went up. 1 and 2 touch, nice sharp play. Ozil and Sanchez involved. Xhaka's a decent strike, but it's a good block from Dan. But that's better from Arsenal, simply because they just moved the ball quicker and made decent runs.
Alexis Sanchez on the edge into Lacazette, who controls, looks to shoot, finds Xhaka instead, back towards Lacazette. Sanchez in there, challenged by Dan, up in the air, Xhaka jumps. Milivojevic will loop it away over his own head. We'll find Kolasinac, best period of the game so far for Arsenal. Kolasinac down the left channel to Ozil, digs out across, what a ball, right across the face of goal. No one's there to turn it home. And there's a shout of an elbow before Wilshere shoots. Saved by Speroni. A little shout of an elbow there. Need to see what happened. It was Callum Chambers running with maybe Loftus-Cheek. We'll need to see it. Is it Zaha who's gone down? Can't quite see it at the moment. We're getting a replay now, and what is the matter with Wilfried Zaha? So Chambers kind of runs away from him. There's very minimal, if any, physical contact, and he's gone down like he's been elbowed, and then he's screaming for a foul. What is his problem?
I just think you have to stop doing that. It's a contact sport, so sometimes you're going to get caught, because what's happened there is, I think he's used his arm to try Chambers to try and get past, and he probably has glanced him on his jaw, but it's not enough to see how Zaha responded to it. And I think it's just something that has to change in him, because refs will see it and he'll start getting booked for simulation.
It makes absolutely no sense sometimes, and that's one of those times where it just makes absolutely no sense.
Well, the thing is, Tom, the type of flair player he is, he's going to get kicked enough. He really is going to get fouled enough. He doesn't need to be going down. Does he think
there he has been fouled? Is that why he's done that? Does he think he's been fouled and he goes down?
In his world, he thinks it's a foul, but you know, and I've seen him. I've done a few Palace games where I'm a bit like you. I'm thinking, get up. It's not a foul. Get up. You're looking for a foul. You're pleading with the ref to give you a foul, and that's not how it should be.
Arsenal having some concerted pressure here, midway inside the Palace half again.
That'd be alright with this Palace. When you play against Arsenal, one thing you know is they're going to monopolise possession, and you're going to play for a spell without the ball. Focus, concentration, shuffling across, closing down spaces. They'll have done this in training.
It's taken 20 minutes to get there. Xhaka forward to Lacazette on the edge. Tompkins with him. Lacazette left to Kolasinac. First time to Alexis Sanchez. Shuffles away from one, then away from Cabaye, but cleared away from Tompkins.
And that's the thing, it's that first ball out. That's where your Benteke's have to be sharp and try and anticipate where they think the ball may come out.
Oh, terrible touch from Ozil has allowed Andros Townsend to steal. He's driving forward now over the halfway, releasing Benteke to the right. Challenged by Koscielny. Benteke still got it. Low crosses into the area, but there's no one really in that zone there for Palace, and that's a let-off there for Arsenal. Poor play from Mesut Ozil. Uncharacteristic poor control from him. Throwing your accusations and Mesut Ozil performance if you want to, but ball control is not something that usually lets him down.
No, it's a very good play. Very, very technically gifted.
Here he is now, Ozil round the corner to Alexis Sanchez. Kolasinac makes a run out left, corner of the area. Here he is now, cuts it back. Tompkins away, reads the game really well, James Tompkins, and once again has done so there, but when they pump it forward, it's nowhere near Benteke. I mean, you need Benteke to do more, but also put it somewhere near him.
Yeah, a bit of both. I mean, I didn't think there was any need for Townsend to do that. But again, Benteke's got to present himself. He's got to be saying, if we're in the cosh, under the cosh, put it in the channel, get it up to my chest, I'll hold it up for you. And I don't see enough of that from him, really.
Foul on Jack Wilshere from Loftus-Cheek over there, who has had some great moments this season, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, but finding himself on the left wing tonight, I find a little bit extraordinary.
Well, Ruben Loftus-Cheek's a decent player, but he's a spells player. You know, you couldn't say he's run the game. He'll have spells in the game where he really comes to the fore.
Free kick whipped in towards the 6-yard box, away from Dan, then headed further away by Schlupp, but only as far as Ozil, who finds Lacazette on the right, cross block, back to him, gets a shot away. Great save, but it falls into the path of Mustafi, and Mustafi, with the coolness of a striker, side foots into the back of the Palace net. Unlucky Speroni. Arsenal lead by a goal to nil.
Well, I have to say that is a really good finish, because he still had a lot to do, and he's come out and he's side-footed it on the half volley. Free kick comes in, and they don't clear it very well, Palace, to start with. Schlupp heads it wide, not a good enough header, and then Lacazette's 2 bites at the cherry, has a shot, decent save, and I tell you what, it's a decent save. I mean, you feel sorry for Speroni. He's thinking, well, I've pushed it wide enough. I really have. But there's Mustafi, and he's half volleyed it, and the side foot squeezed it into the near post between Martin Kelly and the post. If he had to do that another 5 times, I tell you, that wouldn't be the response. I'm telling you, it's a really difficult finish.
Gonna feel for Speroni there. It's a really good save, done everything right, pushes the ball out of the danger zone, and Mustafi, well, with a super finish. I mean, we've seen a lot of defenders this year go forward and look like strikers. Nicolas Otamendi, an example. Mamadou Sakho scored here a few weeks ago before injury. Late winner against Stoke.
And you feel for Speroni, because when he makes a save like that, what he's doing is he's giving his defenders the chance to clear the ball.
So would you blame Kelly for not getting in the way of the shot?
Well, I think he's got to. You know, when the ball goes out as it does, the first thing in your mind if you can't get to the ball is to get between the ball and the goal. Right. And I don't think he reacted quick enough. He's watched the ball. I don't think he was aware of Mustafi either. Possibly. Because it did all happen really quickly. But do they deserve it, Arsenal? They've had territory and passing, but not really.
No. 6. I'll say that again. 2 Premier League goals this season from Mustafi. Why I said 6, I do not know. Down the right-hand side, Bellerin comes in field, intercepted by Milivojevic, breaks to Lacazette, and Arsenal have been on top last few minutes. They've scored a goal, and Palace got to hold on a little bit here. Wilshere will spread it left to Kolasinac. Sanchez is with him, searching for a third away win of the Premier League season, Arsenal. Alexis Sanchez runs in field, looks for that crossfield pass that he always seems to go for, but that's intercepted by Cabaye. Corner to Arsenal.
I have to say, this is cutting.